Good morning. Good morning. I'm here, and I have a new hat. This is one of those vintage hats. A vintage hat for a vintage woman. Number 3 had a bunch of these stored up in his storeroom. I got to get some hat pins. I can't keep it on without a hat pins. But see my pearls? These are real pearls. You can order these from Amazon for around $40. They're not real perfect, but they're real pearls. This hat has got to have hat pins. But I thought I'd show it to y'all. I'm going to wear my rose. It was under there. It's there. I like my flowers too. I can't play favorites now, can I? I want to do this hat on TikTok if I can learn how to do it. Oh, here comes the cat. Get up here, Bella. Kitty, 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 kitty. Get up here. We got to do a video. And I got to get my scarf. Y'all know I got to have a scarf. Where did it go? I had one a while ago. I don't know what I did with it. Find me another. I got scarves everywhere. All right. You know, today, that cold put me on TikTok and people are signing up. It's a miracle of God. I cannot believe it. Thank you, Cole. And I tell you another one that's really good that helped me a lot, and that is Jared King TV. He tells a story about Appalachia, and I tell you, some of them are so good. James and I, number 3, had been watching him a long time before, so check him out. It's Jared King TV, Appalachia Stories. He's good. Well, now we're going to get back to my grandpa Ayers. We lived down in Smith Holler when I was a little girl. And my grandpa Ayers, I'm sorry to say, was not a nice man. He was a mean man. Nobody in the country liked my grandpa. He just wasn't nice. He wasn't nice to Grandma. He wasn't nice to his kids. They had 12 kids. I had a bunch of uncles. Well, Grandpa farmed, and he had this beautiful apple trees that we used to go pick, and they were that big. I mean, big old apples. They were delicious. We used to go over there and get them. Get up here, Bella. Right here. Get up here. She's coming. Anyway, we would go over to Grandpa's, and they had an outhouse, and I'll never forget. I should not tell this, but it's the truth. I mean, I was 5 years old, and I had an uncle, same age I was, and his name, I won't tell you. But anyhow, we went to the outhouse together. And he said to me, he said, I'll show you mine if you'll show me yours. I thought, now what does this involve? He said, here, I'll show you mine. I saw his. I was getting ready to show mine, and Aunt Amanda knocked on what are y'all doing in there? Get out of there right now. He never did get to see mine. And I think I was willing to show him, God help me. I don't think I was saved at that time. I learned better later. Now back to Grandpa, his daddy. They had 12 kids. And Grandma was a dedicated woman to the Lord, and her family was dedicated to the Lord. I mean, they were Pentecostal, and that's where we get a lot of our Pentecostal stuff, as well as my mother's side of the family that lived in Mink Holler, which was about 6 miles apart. So Grandpa was at home one day, and all of a sudden, he just passed out. What happened, really, I know now, is he had a stroke, a really bad stroke. And they hauled him to the bed, and they laid him out in the bed, and he didn't wake up. He didn't wake up. Well, my grandma had a family that had a preacher in it that we called Uncle Jake. Uncle Jake was a Pentecostal preacher that traveled from town to town holding revivals. And he was a really good man, Uncle Jake. I got to know him later, but I was just a little girl then. So Grandpa was out all that time, and the next morning he had not woke up. I know now he had a bad stroke. So Grandma, his sister, my grandma, called her brother in, Uncle Jake. So Uncle Jake came, him and a friend of his, who was also a dedicated Christian, and they fell on their knees beside Grandpa's bed. And we all gathered around, and all of us prayed and prayed. It seemed to me like they were never going to quit. I mean, they really were beseeching heaven for Grandpa Dan Ayers, and his name is Dan Ayers, and he's been gone many years. They beseeched God for Grandpa. He didn't wake up then. But Uncle Jake got up and he said, you know, I feel like God's taking care of it. Let's leave it in the hands of God. So that's what they did. They all got up and went about their business. Me and Daddy, I was with my daddy. He took me home, and I've witnessed all of that when it happened. And anyway, we all went home. And the next day, Daddy and I went over I went everywhere Daddy went. I was Daddy's shatter. So we went over to check on Grandpa, and there he still lay. No difference. Still out like a light. But don't you know, about 1 o'clock that evening, he woke up. He woke up. He said, where am I? They said, well, you've been out for 2 days. He said, well, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. So Grandma got him some food to eat. He stayed in bed because he was weak as a kitten. And don't you know, in a day or two, he was out of bed. But let me tell you the real miracle, and I witnessed it. Grandpa Ayers was a different man when he got out of that bed. He was never unkind or mean again. And that's the truth. God performed a miracle for old man. We called him Old Man Dan. That's what my mom called him. My daddy's daddy, Grandpa Ayers, was Old Man Dan. And Old Man Dan was a changed person. He was a Christian. He accepted the Lord. And from then on, he was a Christian. Because Uncle Jake visited with him and did pray with him while he was conscious. He was a different man. I'm telling you what, folks, I've seen miracles, and I saw that one, and I was real young. But God's done so many miracles in my life. I tell you what, when I got arthritis so bad that I couldn't get up and down at church without number 3 helping me get up and down, and I was on medicine like that was off the shelf for arthritis, glucosamine and chondroitin, and one day it said with turmeric. And I started taking turmeric a couple of years ago, and now, look at me. I can get up and down. I can dance. I can sing. Y'all want me to sing you a song before I leave? I can do that. Won't be in tune. But I want to take you one day and tell you about Daddy taking me down to where old 97 was wrecked. And there's a song about that, and I can't sing it. But I got another song I like that I used to sing, the kids sing in church camp. No matter what the Lord may do, I've got confidence. I've got confidence. No matter what the world may do. I just try sometimes. It's fun. But I like my hat that James gave me. I mean, look at that up close. Is that pretty? Look at that. I don't know how old this thing is. It may be as old as I am. I just wear it like this. I got to get me some hat pins so I can wear it out in public and look pretty all the time. But I'm going to get on TikTok. I'm going to figure it out. That Cole Catero, can't pronounce his name, put me on TikTok, and I've got over 2,000 subscribers, 2,500 something last time I checked. And you know what? They're sending me messages telling me they like my hat, they like my voice, they could listen to me all day. Well, number 3 listens to me a lot of the time, but he still works, so he can't hear me there for a while. And Bella let me down today, but that's all right. We plod on, like the old preacher said. And I appreciate y'all listening. God is good. My nose is itching this morning. I hope somebody ain't coming hungry. I ate my biscuit and bacon this morning with egg. I eat whatever I want. You know, so I'm 90, but I still just... But, you know, I'm trying to eat less because this morning, you know that talking scale? It said, you weigh 155.2. I got to practice my diet called Eat Less. I got to start on that today. It's a good diet. So I wish y'all the best and have a happy, happy, happy New Year. If you think I'm staying up, you can have another think. I don't do that. I never did do that, except one time. And I'm not doing it anymore. I might make it till 9:30. But I doubt it. Y'all are fun. I tell you what, when I was a little girl, I used to gather I've always been a show-off. Lord help me. And he does. And I say, oh, Lord help me. And he knows I'm serious, that I really do need him to help me. And he does. But I used to, when I was like 12, 13 years old, I had enough brothers and one sister that we could go out in the front yard, and I would set them around, and I would put on a show for them, and I would do all the parts. That was so much fun. And also, I got out doing dishes. I made up stories like Tom Sawyer's books, which I had read. I love reading, and I still read all the time. Into Westerns right now. Love my Westerns. But anyway, I make up stories like we are just having adventures like Tom Sawyer. And so Norman would wash the dishes, Phyllis would dry, and I would tell stories. And I didn't have to get my hands in that water. I'm a bad girl. But it was fun. I made up these stories that we were the heroes. And then we'd have those adventures, and I would tell them it was like we were doing it, and then I would leave it hanging, just like those soap operas we used to listen to on the radio. It was fun. God bless you. Have a happy New Year, and walk that path that the Lord would be pleased with you. And may he bless you and keep you. Till I talk to you again. So long. And I'm going to try to grin into this. That was phony. Now I can give you a real one, because I really do love you. And look cross-eyed at this.